Let's take a quick tour of the interior of the Beech Skipper. It's a really roomy little airplane. For a two-seater airplane with a relatively small engine that gets great mileage, low fuel consumption, it is an incredibly roomy airplane. So looking in the back, as I tip the seat forward, there is a cargo net that holds your things in place so they don't move around if you enter turbulence. So there's a roomy cargo area. And we got the two seats in the front, pilot and co-pilot. There's doors on both sides. And let me climb in here and we'll do the instrument panel. The cockpit in here is about the same size as the front seats of a Beech Bonanza, which is a much larger airplane. So it's a really comfortable airplane to fly. So there's an overview of the instrument panel. Let's take a quick look at these. Here's the airspeed indicator. It shows our speed through the air, which may not be our speed over the ground because of headwinds or tailwinds. There's the artificial horizon, which is a gyro instrument powered by an air pump mounted on the engine. And it indicates nose high, nose low, left bank, right bank. Here's the altimeter. It shows how high we are above sea level. Right now it's indicating 400 feet. That's not our real height because I haven't reset the altimeter setting for local barometric pressure. Our altitude here is about 820 feet, so I reset it for that. Next one, vertical speed indicator, shows our rate of climb or rate of descent in hundreds of feet per minute. Next one is a gyro compass. It works the same as a regular magnetic compass as far as its display goes. However, it doesn't know what magnetic north is. You set it to match the magnetic compass, and then this thing then follows the proper heading as you turn. The nice part about this guy is it works in a turn, and when you're accelerating and decelerating, some of those things mess up a magnetic compass, so that's what this is for. And then the turn coordinator. It shows our rate of turn to the right or to the left, and there's a little ball level underneath that shows if our turn is coordinated. While we're on the instrument panel, we've got a couple of lights that show if our alternator is over voltage or under voltage, which might indicate a problem. We have an intercom system that allows you to talk with your passenger or with your flight instructor using the headsets, which makes it much easier to communicate. We have a clock. We have an instrument air gauge, which shows the air pressure being applied to those gyro instruments I mentioned a little bit ago. This guy is a instrument that tells us if we're right or left of course when we're using a VOR receiver. VOR is very high frequency omnidirectional radio beacon. It's a method of communicating or of navigating. We won't go into the details right now. The RPM or tachometer is right here. Shows how fast the engine is turning, which directly is how fast the propeller is turning. Instruments for the engine and related systems are right here. We've got the ammeter showing the output of the alternator, fuel pressure, oil temperature, oil pressure, and the fuel gauges for the right and left fuel tanks. Down below we have a bunch of circuit breakers and a fuel boost pump, electric fuel pump switch, and a few other switches for lighting and such. In the middle we have the throttle, the carb heat, and the mixture control. We control the fuel-air mixture of the engine while we're flying. That helps compensate for the changes of air density as we climb. Over here we have radios. We've got a communication radio to talk to other airplanes and air traffic control and that sort of thing. We have a navigation radio. We have a transponder. And over here we have a few more circuit breakers. There's a flap switch down here that puts the flaps up and down, and a flap indicator. The control yoke is right here. As you probably know, if you want to bank to the right, you turn it to the right, bank to the left, bring the nose up, or push the nose down. What you might not know is we also have rudder pedals that you put your feet on, down on the floor, and those steer the nose wheel and the rudder on the tail. There are a few other controls under here. We have a trim control that allows you to fly hands off without having to hold the nose up or push the nose down. Down on the floor, we have a rudder trim control. That's right here. Probably hard to see. It's kind of dark down there. And a few little controls for the lighting, interior lighting, and heat, and ventilation, and those kinds of things. And that is it for the instrument panel. Oh, I didn't mention up top we have a magnetic compass, and we have a thermometer to tell us what the outside air temperature is. And of course we have a couple of visors in case the sun is coming in your eyes. You can put those down. I mentioned headsets. We use headsets with the intercom system. Headsets protect your hearing because airplanes are pretty loud. And then the microphone attached to the headset allows you to talk to your passenger, or by pushing a button you can talk to air traffic control or other aircraft as needed. So there's an example of a headset. So that's the inside of the Beech Skipper.